Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Bobby Hobby and Custom Builds. Today, we're going to be taking the heads off of this 94 Chevrolet Silverado. It's got a bad head gasket, or one of the heads is cracked, so we're going to be changing the head gaskets on it, pulling the heads off and checking the heads out and stuff. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get down in here and spray these head bolts down in here to make sure that they'll come out easy without breaking. You can kind of see they're a little rusty, but anyway, sorry about the sun and everything making it a little hard to see, but let's get started. I'm good at rambling, so let's try not to ramble. Let's get to work. And spray these head bolts down in here to make sure that they'll come out easy without breaking. You can kind of see they're a little rusty, but anyway, sorry about the sun and everything making it a little hard to see, but let's get started. I'm good at rambling, so let's try not to ramble. Let's get to work. You guys can see right here what I'm doing. Maybe I'm spraying these bolts on the manifold here so that I can break them loose, because you have to take them off whenever you guys can see right here what I'm doing. Maybe I'm just spraying these bolts on the manifold here so that I can break them loose, because you have to take them off whenever you take your heads off. Got to take the spark plugs out. Let's see, position you guys down here a little bit better where you can see what I'm doing a little better. All right. Okay, first thing I'm going to get this I thought I had a pair of pliers over here in the truck. I ordered a bunch of new tool kits. 3, I believe. Okay, yeah, they're on the other side. ratchet. Couple more wrenches. Another little ratchet. These little sockets, I don't think I'll need them, but I don't think I have anything that small on this truck to take loose. But just in case, it's always good to be prepared. Sometimes I'm not exactly the best prepared either. Okay. Whenever I get to taking the spark plugs out, I'm going to put a piece of tape on each one of the wires and label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then go ahead and mark where they are on the distributor cap. That way, or I'm going to mark whenever I take the distributor cap off, I'll put a piece of tape up here and mark where the rotor bug is pointing. That way, you know, we don't have to try to turn the crank and everything and get the #1 piston at the top and all that good stuff. That's just, if you can tape off where the rotor bug is, you know, make sure that whenever you stab that distributor back down that your rotor bug is pointed where your tape is, where your mark. Then you won't have to mess with all that because you'll stab it back in time. 90% or most of the time that works. Sometimes you make a mistake or something, and then you have to go ahead and do the whole thing. And right now I'm going to take these. I think I'll take it off at the motor. The radiator hose, top radiator hose. I shouldn't have to mess with the bottom one until I get to the water pump. It may need a water pump. It may not need a water pump. We don't know. The truck overheated at some point, which is probably why it blew the head gasket and possibly cracked the head. Hopefully the head isn't cracked, but if the head's cracked, we can go to like Wolford's or some auto salvage and get a set of heads. But let's hope and pray that the head is not cracked. I wish I had a set of those hose clamp pliers. They would be real handy. Okay. See if we can get this booger to break loose without smashing our hands up or falling off of this truck. Okay. Let's step back down on my stump here. Sometimes you can get a hold of this with a pair of pliers and twist it, and it'll break that little bit of a... Apparently my pliers isn't big enough. There we go. That broke it loose a little. It turned. Okay. Guess I'll go ahead and get it off the radiator so it's completely out of the way. I'm not stepping on it, or, you know, you can bend this thing in the right way and put enough pressure on this little nozzle right here and break that plastic nozzle off the radiator. Which you don't want to do. You want to avoid breaking anything you can, because anything you break is something new that you have to replace. Go ahead and stick that in the truck there. Get a few of these tools that I was using yesterday. Yesterday, I took the alternator and alternator bracket loose, which also has the power steering pump attached in it. Got that laying over in the side. Got my bags. What I do is I'll take these bags that I got here, just basic Walmart bags, Lowe's bags, whatever. And whenever I take the bolts out, I put them in these bags and I label what bolts they are. That way you don't forget where they go and you don't have to spend hours trying to sort through bolts and nuts and figuring out where they go. If you just label them as you go, you don't have to worry about that in the end whenever you go putting it back together. Anyway, I've got some tools here that belongs to Gary. All right. I think slide this over here. Get a good little workstation going. I'll show you what I mean. I got my tool tray laid out here, my toolbox. Got some other wrenches over here on the stand that my other little camera is on. Alright guys, get you back down in here. For some reason, I don't feel like you're positioned in a good, there we go. Let's get you like that. Alright guys, let's get to it. Enough talking and rambling. Let's get to taking stuff off. I ordered myself I'm gonna ramble some more. I ordered myself a nice little 56 piece mechanic tool kit. It shipped last night. Should be here in the next couple days. I'll be able to use it on some of my other projects, which will be very nice. Very, very nice. Spray this thing with some plaster. In which case I'll probably pack all these tools in this toolbox and put them up for hard times. Anyway, let's get this AC pump bracket disconnected and loose. Let's see, I'm most likely going to have to go get my Interscope cam. There's a bolt there. There's a bolt back here. There's not one in that one, but there is one right down here. Let's see. I'll have to take this off. I want to get this fan off and out of the way here, but it's not wanting to. It should just pop right off of there. It is loose. I just can't figure out why this thing ain't budging. Alright guys, give me a few minutes, I'll be back. I'm going to go in and see if I can find some other tools. Alright guys, I'm back. Got me a little flathead screwdriver here to It should just pop off of here, but for some reason it's being a little pain in the behind. It's not wanting to come out like it's supposed to. This little guy should just pop right off, but it is not wanting to. And I don't know why. It should. Come right off. That's why right there. That guy ain't unscrewed out. There we go. I just gotta get this booger to. It's always something though, guys. There we go. Yay! Now I gotta dig my bag out that I had this stuff in. Now it'll come off there. Oh, maybe not. It should. Now it should pop right off. Yep, that's this one. Go ahead and come over here and get on camera and show you this. So you can see I've got the bag labeled. That's alternator bracket and bolts. So that's not the one I wanted. This is the one we want. This has got the fan shroud bolts and fan bolts. Okay. Now it should come right off. It's gonna be a butthead. What? Whenever you're doing little jobs, what's not being buttheads? Sometimes you just gotta persuade it a little bit. And hope that you don't bust your arms or knuckles, which that stuff's inevitable. You're gonna knock your fingers on something or other. There's no getting out of that. Why is this not coming off of here now? It should. I didn't have this much trouble getting mine off of my truck whenever I it should come right off now. I hate doing these. I'm just gonna have to take a whole water pump off with the fan on it, which can be a butt head. Let's just get this AC compressor off. We'll come back to that. We're not unhooking the lines and stuff. I'm basically just going to unbolt the whole bracket, pick it up, and move it over here to the side. That's the plan with that. Let's get my good wrench. The one that has solid connections on it. I need a bigger one for that bottom one, but start us a new bag because this is the AC compressor bracket. Probably my goal for today is to at least get the heads off of it today. So that means we got to get this whole top tore down and the heads unbolted and off, possibly cleaned up. So let's go A/C bracket bolts. My spelling isn't correct all the time. I'm got bad spelling, very bad spelling. I talk to text whenever I text. I use the mic. Looks like there's some vacuum lines or something up in here that's not hooked up. Well, we'll find all that out eventually. Give me a minute here. I'm gonna run in and grab my Interscope cam. Alright guys, I'm back. It only took a couple seconds for y'all. A couple minutes for me. Got the Interscope cam here. 100 foot of it, which is way more length than what I need. But I ordered that for another situation at the house. Where did this my? There it is. Me ratchet. I got a bad habit of misplacing items. I will go ahead and put this idler pulley bracket or idle pulley and bolt in the bag with this bracket because it bolts up to this bracket. Some stuff I will I'll you know, if it goes with it, it goes in the bag with it. And you'll be able to figure out where it goes whenever you're putting it back together. I like to try to leave like on that pulley, I'll try to leave the bolt in the pulley itself, the idle pulley here. Oh, yeah. I'm glad those clip in good. Let's go ahead and set this down here. And that's what this little box is for. All these tools and stuff. There's some stuff that goes on the back of this right here that you want to make sure that you don't lose. See, it's got this little deal here that help, you know, it's a little spacer and balance or stuff like that for this. So make sure you keep all the parts together. Don't, you know, lose them. I'm going to try without the interscope cam, but I'm going to have to take that water pump off, it looks like. It's probably that bigger one that I got on the ratchet. I'm going to have to go ahead and take that off, though, I'm sure, to... I gotta get... Okay, yeah, there's a bolt to the water pump right there. It should be going down under it, too. This side may not have to, but I just don't think that I can get into that. We'll try. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some stuff loose here. I think it's a 10. Nope. I'm just gonna have to use the screwdriver then. This bottom radiator hose is being a pain in the butt to break loose. Come on, we don't want to tear the radiator hose up. Busted. Love it whenever shit is difficult as hell. Come off of there. Lovely when nothing wants to work for you. Glad I moved all my tools out from under that. Okay, guys. Let's see, there's one water pump bolt here. I don't think there's another one on. There might be one on the bottom side of that. This is where the interscope cam comes in handy. Handy. This guy's a handy little booger. I'm proud of how cheap it was, and I'm very happy with the quality of it. And it does both black and white, night vision. It's got a little light in it, but you can see the monitor here and the camera there. This one doesn't have a spot for an SD card or anything, or I could record the footage that what I'm looking at. There's one bolt, two bolts on that side. Anything down here? Nothing that I can tell. Same. You can see that one from the top. Oh, is it really that hard to... Looks like there's supposed to be one there. Right there. This side I didn't really need it, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. Okay, set that back down. Let's see, I bet that is the 14. We'll try it on this over here. Yeah, I was right. 14. Okay, this side, I don't need this big long extension. I will need some kind of extension on this other side over here. Let's get you in over here somewhere where you can see me real good working on this. Right now we're trying to get the water pump. off. I'm going to try to just break these loose. Oh, they're loose already. This thing has had to have been apart before I worked on it, because a lot of these bolts that I've taken off hasn't been super tight, which, you know, somebody's had this thing apart before me. I mean, there's little stuff in here like plastic pieces. Let's see, how hard is it going to be to get this big extension in there? Well, not big, but you got to get past this radiator. Sure, or fan. There we go, got it on that one. Now, let's get that bottom one, the harder one there. Okay, because we're not working on the AC bracket, I'm going to go ahead and move the bag with that parts in there. Get me another bag out and write water pump bolts on it. Set that down over here. I mean, I'm not a DIY channel, so I'll do my best to explain everything as I go. But if you're following along with me on this here job, and doing your own head gasket job, please do so at your own risk. Mistakes will happen. Stuff that you can't foresee. I gotta move the water pump so that I can get the bottom bolts of that AC compressor bracket. Which, you're always gonna run into issues, and I've said it before in previous episodes. Hopefully this episode will get all the heads all the way down and off of it, and then I'll try to do another episode putting the head gaskets on it. Uh, I'm doing this side first, the left side, because it's a lot harder to get to. Get the harder stuff out of the way. Some of that stuff, got a spam caller coming in. Screw them. Okay. That's probably going to explain why they had overheating issues. There's silicone on the head of the bolt there. Anyway, stop that one. It's easier to piece. Where you guys were seeing me over here, I will patch that one in. I'm gonna have to go ahead and stop. Let's get you in over here somewhere where you can see me real good working on this. Right now we're trying to get the water pump off. I'm gonna try to just break these loose. Oh, they're loose already. This thing has had to have been apart before I worked on it, because a lot of these bolts that I've taken off hasn't been super tight, which, you know, somebody's had this thing apart before me. I mean, there's little stuff in here like plastic pieces. Let's see, how hard is it going to be to get this big extension in there? Well, not big, but you got to get past this radiator or fan. Got it on that one. Yeah, let's put that bottom one, the harder one there. Okay, because we're not working on the AC bracket, I'm going to go ahead and move the bag with that parts in there. Get me another bag out. And write water pump bolts on it. Set that down over here. I mean, I'm not a DIY channel, so I'll do my best to explain everything as I go. But if you're following along with me on this here job, and doing your own head gasket job, please do so at your own risk. Mistakes will happen. Stuff that you can't foresee. I gotta move the water pump so that I can get the bottom bolts of that AC compressor bracket. Which, you're always gonna run into issues, and I've said it before in previous episodes. Hopefully this episode will get all the heads all the way down and off of it, and then I'll try to do another episode putting the head gaskets on it. I'm doing this side first, the left side, because it's a lot harder to get to. Get the harder stuff out of the way. Some of that stuff, got a spam caller coming in. Screw them. going to explain why they had overheating issues. There's silicone on the head of the bolt there. Anyway, it gives me a patch in spot. Actually, take this extension off. Don't actually need it over here on this side. Unless there's more bolts at the bottom, but I don't think so. It just usually, these old Chevy water pumps usually just have 2 spots that they bolt on. 4 bolts, 2 on this side and 2 on the left side. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know, I'm up for comments. I feel I'm obviously doing something right because I haven't had really any comments on any of my videos. This one will make video number 15. So, and nobody's had anything to say. I've had over 600 views. To me, that says that I'm doing something right. So, feel free to leave a comment. I'm not opposed to listening to your comments. I will review all comments made. And I will acknowledge your comments in videos. This is usually the hard part, getting the last bolt out because of all the weight on it. Here it is. You gotta be careful not to cross thread it. Gotta get that bolt. That's always something I'm worried about whenever I'm working on a vehicle, is losing bolts and hardware. Okay, water pump's off. Just by the looks of it, it is. Now you guys can see up close without the pump on. Might help if I turn the camera the right way, guys. That's where the pump went. 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. That's where it goes in and out at. Now we can continue on with the AC bracket, which there's a bolt here, and there's one inside here somewhere, up here and over here. And that thing should come right off. We'll go ahead and take this one off as well. We already got it off up here, but we're going to take this one off too. Okay. Get you set back over here. Okay. I don't like the angle. There we go. Yeah, she looks good. Okay. Back to the AC pump bracket. So we put the water pump bolts up. That's on. That's out. This one's done. I'll put these other 2 bags back in the truck too. So we've got 3 bags of hardware. It is labeled. And because I don't sweat like everybody, I have to pour water over my head to keep cool. It's starting to warm up. took my mic off momentarily so I didn't damage it, soak it. Okay, get our AC bag back out and up here somewhere where it's safe. Oh wow, this one has 2 of these support bars here. Get that nut in there. Throw that bracket in right there. I'm gonna go ahead and take this other bracket off too, just because, you know, I don't want it to be in the way. If anybody out there watching makes YouTube videos and you've mastered editing your videos, there's a few things with my software that I don't understand how to do. Whenever you've got your video made and there's certain portions that you want to speed up and go fast play on it, fast forward view, like taking this stuff off. If I knew how to do that, I would shut up for a little bit and just go to work. And then whenever I'm editing my video to post it, I would speed that portion of it up so I got through the mechanical work quickly. But they say the longer your video, the better, because it creates more ad revenue. So if your videos is got some length to them, you're gonna YouTube will like it because you're gonna create more ad revenue for YouTube. That ad revenue is what keeps YouTube free for you guys, the viewers, and also keeps it free for us who are making YouTube videos. Move my mic up a little bit better here. I'm leaning on it. Anyway, I'm just gonna get to it here. Got a little bit of stuff to do. One bolt there, one bolt here. I think before I take this one all the way out, I'm going to get these top 2 done. What I like about this AC compressor bracket is I don't actually have to use my interscope to get on the bolts and stuff. Well, I say that, and then watch, I'll have to. Oh, there it is. No, what the heck? Okay, interscope cam it is. I say I ain't gonna have to use it, and then what happens? Something goes wrong and I have to. I'm gonna quit saying shit like that. As soon as I do, something happens and I gotta do it. No wonder it needs to be a deep socket. Do I have a deep 14? That's the question. We're gonna need some minutes, but I got you. gotta have that one bolt that's a stud. Let's see if I can get this on here where y'all can see how it works. So you'll see that, and you just place it in the spot that you're looking for, and then you can see it has that nut back there with the stud and a spline bolt. I do have splines, but I'd rather just take that nut off if it'll just come off, because that stud right there will leave a spot for me to line all this stuff back up. Okay. Get this position back over here where I can see what I'm doing. There we go. On it is. I'm going to go ahead and take this extra extension off. I don't need it with that deep socket. Go ahead and turn that cam off. Don't need to waste the battery if I'm not using it. Love it when they stick in the socket. Luckily, I was able to pry it out with just my fingers. Set this back down here. Maybe I ought to set it over here and show you. That is an electronic. Okay, guys. So what we're fixing to do now is I'm going to pull the distributor cap off. Then I'm going to take these little brackets, like this bracket, this little bracket right here, the coil bracket right back here. So you can, there it is. See there? Now I get some stuff out of my way. Then I'm going to unhook these steel lines here. There's one here. There's one right back here. And if I'm not mistaken, it's just those two. No, there's three. There's another one over here on this side. Unplug those little plugs. Then I'll get the valve covers off, and then I'll come back and show you after I get the valve covers off. Alright guys, I'll be back. Now we've got the front stuff off. It is time here to see if I can adjust my ball around here. Get all these spark plug wires out, the spark plugs out, and then we'll start taking the headers or manifolds off, the exhaust manifold. I'm thinking though, before we do that stuff, we'll take some of this little stuff off to the top, these little brackets, coil, stuff like that. Stuff that'll be in the way of getting the valve cover bolts off, etc. Certain stuff like the heater hose we'll have to unhook from the intake. We'll take the distributor cap off, mark where the rotor bug is with a piece of tape on the firewall there. That way we know whenever we stab the distributor back, the rotor bug points toward that mark, will still be in time. Okay, a few things. We'll have to unhook the dipstick here. I guess I can go ahead and start taping these plug wires. I wish this thing would stay in its happy spot. There is no happy spot under the truck for this guy. It would be nice to find a happy medium. I think you guys have gotten enough second visions. We'll just use this one. I got a good spot for it. It's aggravating me, and I'm getting frustrated with it. So I don't know if it's actually the correct firing order on how I label it, but whenever I count the cylinders, I always go start, whenever you're looking at it from the front of the vehicle, I always, on these 350s, I always start to the right and go 1, then the left is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can go 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, and 7, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So 3. Next up, 5. 7. Now we already got 2, so we're going to do 4, 6, and 8. And then whenever we take the distributor off, we won't pull nothing out of it. We'll just, I'll go ahead and mark it right now. I put that blue tape on this spark plug wire to let us know that that one's the one at the firewall. What's going on, bub? Hope you don't mind being on camera. I don't think I got any of y'all's tools out here. I brought mine today. I got a screwdriver from in there and a hammer. I put all the tools I used yesterday back in their spot so you could start fresh. Me being able to do this job on my channel is thanks to Gary Osborne down here at Osborne Motors in Fayetteville, Arkansas, off MLK. It's 2900 West MLK, or as others used to know it as 6th Street or 62. It's right across the street from Walmart. He's got some pretty good looking vehicles out here. He's got a couple trucks out there. Y'all come on and check him out. It's cash only. He will buy your car, but honestly, he'll tell you that you'd probably be better off if you sell to an individual because you'll get more out of it because he's going to be wholesale on it. But he has to. Uh, just come down and check him out. Talk to Gary Osborne or Ken Gatlin. And then I'd like to thank Al. He's the one that bought this old truck here. Give me the opportunity to change the head gaskets and check the heads out on it. Make sure that those are all good. Uh, so I'm going to get that tape and label these real quick before I forget where they go. Temp sensor. Short breve. T-E-M-P. Sent. And there's alternator. Where's that other little alternator? Oh, guys. Where did it go? It's up here somewhere. I know. It's the piece that hooks onto the back and you screw the nut down on it. It's in one of these little sleeves. Did I push it back here? Well, I'll be dipped. Did burn it? How do I do that stuff? Oh, it might be. Yeah, it's right here. Just labeling the wires so that I know exactly where they go back into later on. Whenever I'm putting it all back together and I got everything back up here, all you have to do is look at these labels and know right where they plug in. A, C. Okay, let's go ahead and get these plug wires unhooked. because you do have to take the spark plugs out whenever you take the head off. Might as well go ahead and do it right now. Okay, gotta get my wire snips. I forgot about them zip ties. Bobby, be careful, you're gonna bust your hindy. Oh my goodness, at the zip ties back here. I mean, one or so is good. I mean, I guess, you know, it doesn't hurt to be a little overkill with it, but okay. Sorry I hit the camera, guys. Oh, about twisted my daggum ankle there. See what our distributor cap has on it. That's a little Phillips. I'm back. I'm back. So what we've got done here is we've got all the brackets off of the top of the intake and everything, bagged them up, labeled them, got all the wires unhooked from the carb there. I still yet got to take this loose for the oil dipstick. That's, I think, a 10 millimeter. I got a 10 up there somewhere. I'll wait till I get back up there to take it off. I'm gonna unhook that. Unhook this heater hose here from the intake. And then I'm going to go through and start taking these valve covers off. I'll bag them bolts and everything unless they stay in the valve cover. Some of them, whenever the bolts are through the top like this, they'll stay in it. Some of these also have holes on the side of the head, so you can change the valve covers and put the side bolt ones in. But these are bolted in through the top. Got all your bolts right there through the top of the valve cover. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. On these others, there's usually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Approximately about 10, but these, both sides together only have 8 because they go through the top. Anyway, come over here and show you on this side. After I take the valve covers loose and get them off, I'll go ahead and unbolt that intake. Take it off. I'm not going to separate the carb from it yet. I'll wait until I'm putting it all back together and see if that kit still comes with that gasket in there. If not, we'll have to try to use the one that's on it and not separate the carburetor. If I don't have to, I won't. But after I get it all back together, that gasket under there, you see where my finger is there? It goes right there, all underneath that thing. If it's got just a little bitty leak, it won't run right. Sometimes it'll pop, sometimes it'll popping, I mean backfiring through the carb, and you're getting too much air for the fuel ratio. So it might be a good idea to just go ahead and change that gasket anyway. We'll cross that bridge in a little bit whenever we get to it. I'll record doing it if I do it. Again, if I run into any issues getting these valve covers off an intake, I'll go ahead and bring you guys back and I'll work through that issue with you guys. But I can already tell that this video is going to be quite long. It's probably already breaching close to an hour or so on it. But I'm going to quit rambling on and talking to you about what I'm doing. I'm going to, go ahead and get started. After I get the valve, after I get the valve covers off, the intake unbolted, then I'll come down here and I'll take all the spark plugs out so we don't break them, taking the exhaust manifold off. Alright? Alright guys, I'll be back once I get those valve covers and intake off. See you here shortly. Okay guys, I'm back. I ran into a minor little complication, but I said I'd bring you guys back to show you how I resolved the issue. So basically, back here on the intake, what I have is this little bracket right here. This here has been bent this way, and there's a bolt right under there that I cannot get to with that being bent there. So I'm gonna have to move stuff out of my way here so I don't smash nothing. And then I'm going to tap that with a hammer to knock it back out of the way where it goes. Basically what this is a bracket for if you needed to pull the engine, you'd put your chain in here, and you'd put your chain in this other one that's up here in the front. Then you put your cherry picker up here onto that chain and lift the engine up out. So, and that's probably what happened, is they just had too much tension on that and it pulled it this way. So let's get you back over here. Hopefully I've got you positioned good. Probably not. Got stuff in the way. Sorry guys. come on. Why are you giving me shit now? Stupid technology. Make stuff that's supposed to work really good and then it don't work. Okay. There's no real way to hit that without. Alright, I think I'm about wide enough now that I can get to that bolt. Okay, got my swivel on here right now for another bolt that I got in here that is in a tight place on the side. It's not an issue though because I do have swivel heads. As long as I can keep from dropping my wrenches. Keep forgetting I ain't got the valve covers up there anymore to. Should have something to keep that radiator up there. That did the trick. Just one more bolt and then I think we'll be ready to pop it loose. Okay, let's get us another bag here like I did with all the other bolts. Got them all unhooked. These are all intake bolts. Yeah, I smell natural gas bad. Okay. Wondering if it's this truck. Make sure I got all of them before I start pulling and tugging. It looks like it, so got this little tab dilly up here. If you use it, you got to be real careful. It came loose pretty easily though. Had to put a little tension on it, but not much. And there's the intake off. Next up, heads. Alright guys, I'm gonna get off of here and then I'll just go ahead and show you real quick where the bolts are for the heads, and they're the same on the other side too. And then I'm gonna go and finish this up, and then I'll come back and show it to you with the heads off of it. Now I gotta take before I take the heads off, don't forget, I can't forget, I gotta take these spark plugs out too. But and then the manifold, and then the head bolts. The head bolts will be the last thing I take off. I want these to be solid whenever I'm trying to break these exhaust manifolds loose, because they're gonna be tight. They're gonna be very tight. And they're almost scary to break loose, because if you ain't careful, you will snap them off and then you're in trouble. Alright guys, I'll be back. Guys, I'm back. Got the heads and intake and everything all off of it. So that's what it looks like. The only issue that I had with taking the last bolts off, which is down here on this side, is you got to push the exhaust manifold out of the way so you can get to one here, two in the middle, and then one on that very back corner, and the same over here on this side. Same thing, there's one up here that you got to push the exhaust out of the way, manifold, two in the middle, and then one on the back side. Anyway, there it is. That's gonna probably be it for today's episode. I'll record more probably Saturday. Today is Thursday. I've got to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna call it on this video. And if you guys like what you see, or you like what I'm doing on my channel, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, smash the bell, select all if you want to receive future notifications. Future notification on this truck, the finishing, cleaning up the heads, making sure the heads ain't cracked or anything like that. Make sure they're smooth and they don't need to be resurfaced, because if they need to be resurfaced and you go ahead and put it back on without having them resurfaced, you'll just do the same thing here and blow that head gasket out. You can see right here, it was mainly this side that blew out. You can see that head gasket right there in one of those jackets. Up here too, you see that? That's a bad head gasket. So I'm hoping that they didn't overheat it bad enough that it tore them heads up or anything. But anyway guys, again, like, share, subscribe, smash the bell, leave a comment. If you think I'm doing something wrong or I didn't do something right, in what I showed you, go ahead and leave a comment and tell me about it. I will acknowledge your comment, and I will speak about your comment in the future episode if there is any comments to be had. Alright guys, y'all have a good day. I appreciate you tuning in. It really means a lot when you guys view my videos. That helps my channel out. It means a lot for you guys that subscribe. I do appreciate it. It's because of you guys that I'm able to do this. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you next time.